Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Second Life After 40.
Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a wonderful day.
There comes a moment in life, usually somewhere after 40, when the questions begin to change. Instead of asking, how can I be more successful? You start asking, what does success actually mean? Instead of wondering, what's next on your career ladder? You begin wondering how to spend more time with the people who matter the most. You start thinking about your health, your family, your energy, your purpose, and who you are when nobody introduces you by your job title, and hence why this podcast exists.
Today, we are joined by someone whose life has been anything but ordinary, a doctor, an entrepreneur, and someone many of his patients affectionately describe as having truly healing hands. Born and raised in Canada, he studied in Canada and the United States before making an unexpected decision to leave everything familiar behind and move to India to build a career and a business from scratch. Over the last decade, he's built one of India's leading chiropractic and wellness centers, navigated the highs and lows of entrepreneurship, and experienced the constant pressure that comes with building something meaningful.
But this conversation isn't really about business. It's about what happens when you've spent years chasing achievement. It's about realizing that your identity can't be limited to being a doctor, a founder, or a leader. It's about finding balance between ambition and family, between growth and contentment, and between building a successful career and building a life you're genuinely excited to wake up to every day.
So today, if you ever felt that life after 40 isn't about slowing down, but about becoming more intentional, then this conversation will resonate deeply. We will be talking about entrepreneurship, cultural values, resilience, personal growth, and the pursuit of life lived with intention. Because sometimes the most valuable perspectives don't come out not from how many years you've lived, but from how deeply you've lived them.
Please join us in welcoming Dr. Pratap to this episode of our podcast.
So it's best you grab a cup of coffee as we tune into this episode, because as you know, life ain't slowing down, and neither are we. Hey, Doc. Hi, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much, Double Sujay, for having me on this.
Yeah, it's a pleasure for us as well having you on this
Yeah.
show because we've been
Yes.
Sujay and I have been talking about you a lot. And where this podcast started and where the seed was sown, and here you are on this show with us.
Yes,
I see.
total.
Look, I
Hey,
can't. I
Prathap.
can't take credit for this. I can't take credit for this.
No,
Really,
yeah, well,
give me the new.
at least if not the seed, you'll be the one of the branch of the tree.
I'll take. I'll be a branch. I can't be the seed. Come on, guys. No, see, no. After having launched my podcast, I can completely understand how much thought and effort and production and like thinking needs to go into like producing a podcast. And then it's not just about this episode, next episode. It's about the season. How do you want it to change? What other topics you want to bring on? Who? What kind of guests you want? It's a lot of
Yeah,
planning. It's
that's
it's 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 a project. It's a real thing. So. I mean, I'm really
true.
grateful to be on here and appreciate whatever you credit you guys give me. It's very flattering for me. Thank you so much. But honestly, it's all credit to you
Right.
guys. It's an important topic. I think a lot of people experience a lot of changes post 40, and this is one of those platforms
Yeah,
where you're getting it out there. You're having important conversations. It's interesting to talk to and listen to other people's stories, and you're bringing that to particular a platform where other people can understand it, and it's nice. So I
absolutely,
appreciate that.
absolutely.
It's a great
Yeah,
topic, and I'm thrilled to be here today.
yeah.
Thank you very
No, that's absolutely the point. Bringing stories of others, and
Hmm.
generally we keep the stories to our families and friends, and maybe colleagues. This hopefully takes it out to the wider audience, and everyone can, if not, imbibe what others are saying, but maybe that puts a thought in someone's mind.
For sure.
They can learn something, right?
Absolutely.
So that's what we've been trying to do, and I'm sure there will be a lot that we can learn from this episode as well, and from you, from
I
your
hope so.
experiences.
So Doc,
Absolutely.
before the tag of a doc, uh, who is Prathap? And if you could just give some kind of a background introduction on yourself, it'll help the audience and the listeners as well.
Okay, so I'm Prathap. Hi. I am a chiropractor by profession, but I'm also a father. I'm also a thinker. I'm also a creative spirit who I'm interested in sharing ideas. I like the idea of longevity. These are things that are important to me, especially as I've progressed in age and experience levels. I love video games. I'm a person who enjoys challenges, solving puzzles, whether that's in real life or fictional life. I, I there's a lot of interests that I have and not enough time to find them all. So it's one of those things where like yeah I outside of clinic life and outside of my role as the CEO of the company that I run, Atlas Chiropractic and Wellness, it is it's a jungle out there. I have two small kids. They're both under the age of 5 and 4. They're really close together, so there's a lot of different challenges associated with that. I embrace fatherhood. It's one of those things that I always say is the greatest joy and the greatest challenge. It's simultaneously, you have to wear both hats at the
Absolutely.
same time all the time. So
Yeah.
I'm also, I was just telling you guys earlier, but for the audience, I'm celebrating my ninth wedding anniversary in a couple of days. So been married for 9 whole years.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. So it's like also I'm a husband. I'm the oldest son in a family of three kids. My parents emigrated to Canada a long time ago from India, so I have dual experiences. I was born and raised in Canada. I, you know, I did my whole education over there, and then, opportunity came knocking, and I came to India to start my practice, and that was a big change. So a lot of people find that journey a little bit interesting. Like everybody was trying to leave India, go to Canada, and here I am from Canada coming back to India. So they're like, "What's wrong with you, buddy? Like,
Uh,
why did you do this?" So um those types of
nice.
stories I like and experiences I have, and those are part of why I think what I have to share is pretty important. And the challenges that we experience as being kind of dual cultured, the
Yeah.
interesting element of having ultra conservative parents, growing up in a Western society, there those things shaped
Mm.
me, who I am, and like my interactions with family, things like that. So it's
Right.
very it's 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 interesting because I see shades of myself in culture here in India after being here for
Mm.
11 I've been here for 11 years now.
Right.
So like it's one of those things like I see where I've come from, and I see
Right.
what types of like values have been instilled in me, and where these ideas have come from. But then I also understand how where my parents have been, how their life
Mm.
experiences have shaped how they guided us along. Now I'm a parent, so it's a very interesting twisted road, and I thought that yeah, there's so many insights that I can share with you guys. So that's a very convoluted
Absolutely. No, no.
snapshot of what I am and who I am, but
Certainly, certainly.
it's
There's
where
a
I'm
lot
at.
to unpack there. You put so much in. We have to now layer it out. Right.
You
I
didn't
mean, the
tell me to
first.
stop, so I kept going.
We just wanted to know how far will you go. So, I mean,
Yeah,
the
give
the
me an inch,
first.
I'll take a mile.
Right. So
Okay.
the first thing that comes to mind then, as you said, you're born and raised in Canada, and this is
Mhm.
sort of a reverse migration to India, right? So where do you feel home is?
Ooh. Okay, I'm Canadian. I have a Canadian passport. It's Canada for sure.
Right.
I very most recently visited home in May and April of last year,
Mm.
and coming back to India after that, and this is my first visit home after 5.5 years. So it's not like I go back frequently. It's not
Okay.
like I get to touch base with my guys back there. Like my whole
Mm.
my, my my core group of friends are all guys that I went to high school with, or even before that, elementary school. So
Right.
it's a core group of guys who've been together forever. So plugging back in and like seeing them, and I got so many nice comments from these guys. It was so
Mm.
great because it was like
Nice.
my being over here. There's not just the communication element, but it's also the logistic issues of being in different time zones. I mean, just putting together
Mm.
this podcast and getting the three of us in the same room was difficult.
I don't know.
And the UK is not even that different from India compared to Canada. So we're like on
Yes.
opposite ends of the spectrum on
That's
our
right.
time frames, like when we're putting our kids to sleep, when we're waking up in the morning,
Oh,
Yeah.
all of these types of things is so different. So just getting in touch with my friends on a regular basis is difficult. So
Mm.
getting home, seeing these guys in person, in the flesh, they all made time to see me. It was one of those things. And
Amazing.
and
Yeah.
one of my closest buddies, he was kind of like, you know what, you probably feel like you're missing out on a lot. Like we get together all the time. It's just like old times. It's
Yeah.
not. Like we're getting together today because you're here. So
yeah.
that kind of like
Right.
void
Yeah.
that made me feel like very like, ah, right, my boys are still my boys.
They,
And like that made me feel pretty good. So
the glue that
but,
holds everyone
but
together. Yeah.
coming back to India was a little difficult. I definitely felt a little like, man, I'm missing out on so
Mm.
much. Like going back after 5.5 years, like people had kids, people had been married, nobody had
Mm.
met my kids yet. Like it was one of those things where it's like
Right.
everybody got together, everybody kind of got touched base, and it was really, 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 really nice. So I
Brilliant.
think there was that a
Yeah.
little bit of that camaraderie that I was missing for a while, but um, uh, home is definitely Canada. There's no doubt about it. But I've made India my second home, and there's like I don't feel out of place here one bit.
Nice. That's cool. Yeah. Yeah.
Good to know. Good
India
to
is quite
know.
welcoming that way. That is.
Well, I had some benefits, like some
Well,
people are like, how do you get airdropped into this place? Like my siblings were like, we didn't think you were gonna survive. We didn't think you were gonna last out there. They were like, there is no way much less get married here and all that kind of stuff. There was no chance in hell that that was gonna happen to me, but according to my siblings. But I've made it last. It's been fine. I have a rule.
mm.
I believe that if you can complain in Bangalore about the traffic or Chennai about the heat, you can complain in Paris about the smell or about the crime rate in New York or South Africa. Like,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
it doesn't matter really where you are. It's just what you make of
True.
the situation. So you can complain anywhere,
Absolutely.
in other words.
Well,
Good.
here we complain about the weather all the time, every day, every morning, every evening. So yeah, you can find things to complain about.
That's what
But
I
yeah, you
think
you got
too.
to find the good as well, right? And you and
Absolutely.
and and, and you make it your own. Yeah.
Hmm.
Amazing. Amazing.
Nice, nice to know that. So many things. I think the title of The Curious Case of Dr. Pratap is going to be the best title for this.
Yes.
Very
So,
curious indeed.
so
So,
is there anything about India or Canada or anything like that that you particularly find that is why you call that home or second home?
So Canada for me, I mean, there's two things, okay? There's the Canada that I grew up in,
Hmm.
and there's a Canada that I appreciate now that I've been in India for 10 years, 11 years,
the perspective
right?
change.
Right.
There's two
This,
different things, right? So
right.
first of all, Canada's the Canada that I grew up in and the Canada that I remember growing up in, it was free. Like
Mm,
it was organized. It was even, you know. You knew what
mm,
you were getting into before you got into it. You got what you got out of it if you got it out of,
right.
if that makes sense,
Mm,
Basically, whatever you wanted to make of your life in Canada, you could do
Mhm.
based on what
Predictable
you
and
did.
yeah,
Very predictable. Coming to India now, completely
India is
reversed.
kind of
You,
yeah,
anything can happen at any time, right? Um,
true.
there is a bit of a flow here. There's an energy,
Mm,
there's a vivaciousness that everyday life has that you won't find in Canada. So there's that
mm.
I kind of I've tapped into. I'm a bit of an energetic guy. I don't know if you can tell.
Not really,
I'm
no.
I'm a bit of an effervescent person, so I just I'm a go. I like energy. I like to make movements happen, and this is one of those things that like it naturally occurred to me. People have jaywalking licenses here, right? Like there's go where
Yeah,
there's space, go where there's room,
yes.
um, and I feel like I fit right into that. Like it's like no problem at all. I was okay.
Yes.
So, but now, like after being here for a bit and going back over there, one of the things that I really, really, really value,
Mm,
and it's not even something that like occurs to you here. It occurs to you after you've come back to this. There's two things. The first is air quality.
mm,
And I'm in Toronto. It's not even like I'm in the boonies. I'm in the forest areas. I'm in like the northern parts of Canada where it's all wilderness and stuff like that. I'm in Toronto where it's very urban
yeah.
sprawl. It's very like Bangalore, in fact.
Mm,
Lots of it's a cultural mosaic where lots of different communities have come and set up spaces of their own, and
yes.
they retain their identity, like versus the States where it's a cultural melting pot, where
Mm,
people come to the US and they become American. The ultimate goal is to become American. In Canada,
mm,
it's a cultural mosaic, and Canada's prided itself on being a
mm.
cultural mosaic. And people are
Yeah,
welcome to bring their identity, bring their culture, bring their foods and smells and colors, and represent
nice.
themselves in Canada as that. So
Yeah.
I digress a little bit, but the idea is just that it was one of those things where you realize how much space there actually is and how good the air
Mm,
quality is.
mm, right.
Like
Yeah.
the cool breeze doesn't have that saturation of humidity in it. It doesn't have that warmth attached to it. It doesn't have that
Mm,
cloistering warmth in there. It's just a cool breeze.
great.
So I
Right.
just small things like that I really
No.
appreciate it. And the other part of it is
Mm,
just organization, man. Like
mm,
I miss the ability of going to a place like Staples, you know.
mm.
Um, Staples is for the people who don't know, is an office department store. Literally, you want a paper clip, you want a printer, you want a shelf for your office, you can get it all in one place. The other day,
Yeah. Yeah.
I went to the local stationery shop to get an envelope. They didn't have the size. Then I wanted a particular pen to write with, and they're like, we don't have that one, but we have this one. I'm like,
All right.
this would be solved if I had a Staples.
Right. Well,
But again,
there's a
like,
business idea.
and this is just the difference between Canada and
Yeah.
India. Like
Can
in
true.
in Canada, those costs might cost me 10 times as what they might cost me here. So
Mm,
trade off.
fair. Yeah. Yeah. Nice. That's yeah. Can understand. Yeah. I mean, in India, as they say, right, everything is Indian jugaad. I don't know if you've heard of it, right?
I am very familiar
Work
with
it
that.
out. Work it out for everything there on the road.
So, yeah, so you got to make do, and it's kind of ingenious, right? That you got to do it, and that, as you said, the energy and things that everyone just makes it happen, makes it work, despite
Exactly,
all the hurdles.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Right. So, Doc, I'm just going to go a little bit deeper into your you know uh childhood to the adolescent stage. Uh, so what's something that your parents taught you that had did not make sense at that time, but now makes complete sense at this point in time?
Um, I mean, this is an easy one. I thought you let me off the hook on this one. Um, no, so back in the day, as a kid,
Yeah.
mom was a working mom. She was a very Indian working mom in the sense that she never stopped. There's
Mm.
three of us to feed, clothe, and take care of, and she also worked her whole day, and so she'd always had, and she worked in childcare. So for
Oh.
her, uh, it was a non-stop thing for her, and she had your
Mm.
typical aches and pains, back pain, neck pain. So invariably on weekends, I'd find myself digging my elbow into her arm and into her shoulder, into her back, and she would always remark, "Pratap, you have healing hands."
Ah,
Mm.
there you go.
Right.
So fast forward, right? I started my practice here in Bangalore, blah blah, and I started generating a few patients who were regulars. And one of the girls that I was able to help regularly came back with a little one of those like it's got little tiles in it. It's like a little frame. It's got
Mm.
tiles in it, and just it said healing hands.
Hmm.
Nice.
And
Right.
I didn't tell her the story
Yeah.
about my mom, so it was just one of those like full circle moments. Like
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
I know that I am exactly where I need to be based on various things like
Right.
this that reinforce
Mm.
the idea that your hands are very important. Your hands have something special in them. They have some quality to them that help people heal.
Nice.
Amazing.
And
Amazing.
and chiropractic by that
Hey.
means is basically literally very literally means practice of the hands.
Hmm.
Mm.
Chiro meaning
Right.
hand and practic being practice. So
Right.
it's
Yeah.
it's just like there's so many of these layers that I
Yeah.
can peel apart to say like yes, I know I am exactly where I need to be.
Super. Nice.
What story?
And on that note, if I had to meet you at when you were 18, okay, uh, what would be more surprising about you at that age than what it is right now?
How fat I got? No, no, no. Yeah, but like all my life I was an athlete. All my life I'd play sports with buddies and at school events and different house leagues and competitive teams out there. So
Mm.
various sports, not even just this stuck with one. It was anything, basketball, soccer, football, American football, not
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
soccer, but I played soccer too. So volleyball, swimming, whatever it was, like running, we do it every we did it all. So the first one would be just like how far the fitness has gone.
Yeah.
I could say that, but I'm probably like I could probably kick my 18-year-old's ass, but you know what I mean? Like it was just one of those things like at 18 I was super super scrawny. I didn't care about going to the gym. I could eat whatever I want as much as I want. I never put on weight. I think
Right.
I w
Nice.
in high school I might have been 140 pounds,
Oh.
and
Mm.
now I feel like I can eat my former self. So so I think that would be one
Oh
of the
God.
big ones, like to see like physically how I've changed and like how I've like filled
Mm.
out my frame. But outside of that, like from
Mm.
it was never really like a lot of people might say, okay, well, I never expected to be so family oriented or so career oriented, but
Mm.
that's always been part of my goals. I've always wanted to have a family. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur and always wanted to be kind of master of my own destiny. So those things I don't think my 18-year-old self would look back at and be like, "Oh, I didn't expect that of you."
Okay.
But yeah, I think one of the big ones is just that I always expected to be an athlete and like a
Okay.
good athlete at that. So the very fact that like I play a couple hours of basketball and my knees would start crumbling, like I that would surprise my 18-year-old
That-
self for sure.
Nice. Cool. And so growing up, were you the kind of kid who followed rules, or you were a kid who kept asking why all the time?
Um, so this is gonna let the cat out of the bag a little bit, but yeah, no, I was a kid who understood the rules and understood
Mm.
understood loopholes.
Right.
So I would basically fly under the radar whenever possible. I would see as much as I could behind the scenes. Oh, we got a special guest.
Right.
This
Oh,
is my daughter.
hello.
Hi, Leah. All right.
Hello.
Double and Sujay are saying hello. I'm wearing
That,
headphones. You can't hear them.
that
You want
Yeah.
to
English.
go back? You want to go see Mama? Thank you, baby.
So cute. Missing
That was
daddy.
unexpected. They saw me sitting out there. They came right over.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would find loopholes. I would fly under the radar, and I would avoid trouble, even though I was
Mm.
getting into mischief on the side. So I I know what to look
That
for when I
is.
see these guys grow up.
You've been there. Done that.
I know all the tricks now, man.
Yes.
Uh,
Cool.
am I allowed to swear on this show?
That's all right.
Should I
Yeah. Yeah.
answer that question now?
I have a rule
We
with
have
my son. I have a rule with my son. You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Cool.
Nice.
Um, so, but maybe switch it over a bit. So, say, 20 years later or so, when kids are 18 or 20 and they start understanding things, um, what would they say about you? Or what would they
What do you
uh,
think they would say,
what they
rather?
would say? Yeah.
Well, I can't see it being much different than it actually is right now because we just had this discussion last night. And so my daughter's going through a little bit of like identity stuff where she's kind of figuring herself out and she's understanding where
Mm,
like the boundaries are and what she's able to do this and that. So I was I was asking her, I was like, why like right now she's very much mama's girl, right? Like everything
mm.
is mama first and not for dada and whatever. So I was like,
Right.
why do you not like listening to data? Like
Mm.
let's get into the mind of little Leah now. And she goes, well, no, it's not that I don't like you, Dada. It's you know, I like Mama because she does the fun stuff, and you do the important stuff. And then
Right.
and then and then my son pipes in. He's like, "Yeah, see, Dada takes us on trips. Dada takes us to the
Mm.
arcade. Dada
Mm.
like works so hard so we can have a good life." And I was like, "All right,
Mm.
Dion, thanks so much for that." Yeah, so I think somewhere in that
They're wise beyond their years.
chip off the old block, I guess. But but yeah,
Right. Uh,
I guess whether they will remember all of this when they grow 18.
yeah, no,
Well,
I
now it
I,
is there for posterity, so they will hear this.
speak into existence. No, I think that they'll look back and they'll say, you know what, like you held
Yeah.
down the fort, you managed everything.
Mm.
We were not wanting for anything, and you know, you looked out for us.
Yeah.
You made sure that we had everything we were looking for,
Absolutely.
and not unlike our fathers, you know,
Yeah.
not unlike like I remember I think back and this is kind of like a great story for me both emotionally and like
Mm.
from a like this is where I come from. So my dad was a mechanical engineer, and part of the reason why we ended up in Canada was because of his abilities, like his academic exploits. So he was able to go from a really, really small rural village in Andhra to Bangalore,
Mm.
make it happen in Bangalore, do some testing, and get
Mm.
transferred into an exchange program in Germany.
Nice.
And then
Right.
that's where he met my mom's brothers, and that's where that exchange happened. What is it?
Nice.
Biodata. So
Yes.
they got sort of sorted out over there, and then he took another test for an exchange and brought him to Canada.
Yeah.
I was 8 or 9, and he had just recently got laid off, and you
Mm.
know it was the winter time, and he was walking behind our house somewhere on a path, and he had slipped on some black
Mm,
ice, fell, and broke his arm. So he wasn't going to be able to be employed for another probably 6, 8 weeks, maybe a couple of months. And it was the situation where she, like, even though
right.
we had like zero income at the time, and there was like,
Mm,
all kinds of question marks about when that income would start coming in for a family of five, we knew nothing of
mm,
that sort. We didn't even know there was trouble.
yeah.
We didn't even know there was a financial pinch.
Gosh.
Like it, it was that type of providing that I
Yeah.
hope to do one
Yeah.
day for these guys. So that's, I
True.
think, what, like in maybe
Fantastic.
15
That
years
is.
when they get to
Yeah.
that age, I really hope that that's what they can say about me.
Yeah. I'm sure. I'm sure they
Mhm.
will. I'm sure they will. They'll have plenty of other memories to go along as well.
That's the goal.
That's it. Super.
So when you moved to India, when you're looking back right now to that move, uh, do you think it was a brave or naive or a mix of both?
Um, I think I was walking in with guns full blazing. Like
Mm,
I, I, I knew what the animal was going to be, and I was prepared
mm,
for a bit of a slog.
mm.
You know, like I also expected to be in and out in 5 years.
Right.
I expected to be in, set up what I needed to set up, and be out in 5 years. But obviously,
Mm,
India takes a lot longer. Industry takes a little bit longer to mature. I'm
mm.
also pioneering a new industry, so there's like lots of things that would prevent me from just being in and out, so to speak. Um,
Right.
and Leah wants to be a part of this, so she's just gonna.
She's more than welcome.
So, so look, the decision I made was actually it was a laborious process. It wasn't an instant decision.
Mm,
It wasn't a situation that matured through the conventional means. It was a
mm,
situation that took a lot of processing. So, little background: when we were in college, so I was finishing my degree, my doctorate in chiropractic. We had a particular a feature of our program called
mm,
backpack to briefcase. So what this
Oh,
was
mm.
like transitioning from being a student to being an entrepreneur.
Right.
So the entrepreneur courses, there were business courses in our program, and the
okay.
Mm,
lady, the doctor who was basically a part of that business process, she was also the person who was behind the big backpack to briefcase thing. So basically, we could speak to her
mm.
on a regular basis to kind of further along our business plans, to kind of just discuss what we were planning to do and how we were planning to do it. And I was studying in the States, so I could
Mm,
take a job in the States with green card, H-1B visas, and all that kind of stuff. That was option number one. Option number two was go back home and do what everybody
mm,
else does, like go back to Canada, start your practice over there, or join a practice over there, and that was it. And then
mm.
there's this periphery third option, and that was this possibility in India. Because at that time, there was like five chiropractors in the whole country.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
I, I look like I look, but I sound like I sound. So I was like, could this be something? Right? So anyway, I let that simmer down. I ended up going back home, and in these meetings, I would keep discussing the different
mm,
options I had, and was developing and furthering along my ideas. And she's like, Pratt, I'm Dr. Pratt. So, she's like, Pratt,
mm,
have you ever? Can I stop you for a second? Have you
mm,
ever like noticed how excited and effervescent you
mm,
become when you discuss your
mm,
India option?
mm.
And I'm like, no, not really. Like, and she's like, you light up like a Christmas tree, man. Like this is one of those
Amazing.
things like you need to really look into this, because if you don't do this, you're
Right.
gonna kick yourself. You're gonna say, oh, why didn't I do it?
Mm. Yeah.
So naturally, I didn't take her
That's
advice, and I went home, and I went back to Canada, and I started. I worked in a couple of practices. I worked in my own practice. Um, And this opportunity came by where somebody would hire me
Mm,
to be in India to represent their company as
mm,
a health expert. And the product was a pain relief patch.
mm.
And um, I would be their medical rep here, and I would help to kind of establish their little platform and things like that. And I could also practice as a chiropractor on the side.
Oh,
Yeah,
So I
right.
was like, I get paid a salary. They're gonna send me over here. I get to set up what I need to set up, and
Uh, That is,
and it was one of those things, like it was just the perfect setup.
yeah,
right.
best laid plans.
So,
So I came over,
Uh,
and of course I got canned in like 3 months.
God. Yeah.
So I came over in October 2014, and by December 2014 I was fired.
oh,
Jeez.
Not
Right.
because of merit, not because I did a bad job, because they had to
Mm,
restructure something internally, and they were actually the
mm,
people who had hired me were actually coming to India physically, so they did no longer needed
mm.
me.
okay.
Right.
So
Yeah.
December 2014,
Mm,
I was faced with this choice: stay in
mm.
India or come back home.
Right.
So I rolled the dice. I said, I'm gonna go
Mm,
back to India, and I'm gonna try my best to get this going. And
nice.
so 2015 Jan is actually the first time I can say that I went back to India on my own
Uh,
volition as a
mm,
primary, like my primary goal being to be a chiropractor in India.
right.
And I'll tell you
That's,
something, it was freaking hard.
I can imagine.
It was
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
easy. But,
Mm,
you know, I I used all of the contacts that I had from that first job, and I just went to work networking. I just,
mm,
hey, can I get a space in your office? Who do you know that needs a chiropractor? There's a lot of physiotherapists that I had talked to, a lot of like larger
mm,
clinics who had previously hired chiropractors before. So it was like one of those things where who else can I talk to? Who else can I talk to? And at one point in Bangalore, when I first started in that first year, I was in 5 different clinics, 5 different days a week. In some days, I would
gosh.
be traveling with my portable table in a cab, zigzagging
Mm,
across the city. There was a time,
wow.
like my mom's ancestral home was in a very, very central part of Bangalore.
Mm,
And there's a very famous landmark there called the Indian Express building.
yeah.
So from her house, I lugged my table across this insane intersection. Anybody who knows Bangalore would understand this. I literally
Yeah.
walked with this 50-pound table across
Goodness.
the street multiple
Uh,
times. That was just what I had to do.
okay.
This was I
Mm,
would see patients on Sundays.
right.
Nice.
So, anyway,
Amazing.
this was the
That
kind of
is.
grind. It was 6 months in. 6 months in, I
Mm,
was very much not sure about my prospects. I was like, this might be the end of it. I don't think I can sustain this. And my
mm,
now wife
mm,
told me the most
right.
important piece of advice that I ever got. She said, Yo, you've done 6 months already.
Mm,
Do another 6 months, see what happens. If it doesn't work out, go home. You tried for a year. What's the big deal? 6 months.
well, sick.
And in
Right.
those next
Right.
6 months,
Oh,
everything
believed in
changed.
you.
Everything
Right.
changed.
Yeah.
So I don't know if
Amazing.
I answered your
Amazing.
question at all in this whole rant.
It
No,
it
no.
answered some of the questions completely. Some are always there, have to be explored, so don't worry. Yeah.
So when you started the business, what was something that no one warned you about in terms of the business, not the practice, but the business
The
Just how
in
long
nuances.
India?
everything takes. Just how long everything takes. Like, you
Mm.
want a bank account? Guess what? 6 months. Okay, I'm exaggerating. I know I'm being a bit of a dick, but like, um, anything takes forever. You need to know the right people. It's all about who you
Yeah.
know. If you know somebody great, it'll just cost you more.
Yep.
Mm.
And I don't want that to color the entire India's infrastructure in one way, but it is what it is. Um,
Yes.
like I said, I expected everything to be hunky dory in 5 years. It takes longer,
Mm.
right?
Right.
There are certain challenges that you just will not anticipate. There are power cuts. There are cows in the road.
Mm.
You just never know. So these are things
Right.
that it is an older country. It's used to working a little different pace,
Mm,
and the infrastructure is not there for what I need it to do, for what I expect for growth. So that's okay. That's
right.
if
Mm,
I'm not in Canada, I can't expect it to be Canadian standard. I cannot expect even in Canada and Canadian standard, I wouldn't be able to grow at this rate in my estimation. So again,
mm, yeah,
trade off, trade off.
right,
Nice.
right.
Oh, so you had this 5-year plan where you just wanted to, set up things, see how things were rolling, and then, you back.
Hmm.
Oh, but you built out the first Bangalore clinic, then you came up
Hmm.
with the second one, and now you had a
Hmm.
third one in Chennai and the fourth one in Hyderabad. So it's like full guns blazing. You're all over the place. You're jumping between Bangalore, Chennai, Hyderabad, and not that you're still
Hmm.
traveling outside of all these places as well and outside the country as well.
Hmm.
How much of this is important to you?
Um, how much is the expansion important to me, or how
Yeah,
much is the traveling important to me?
the expansion with the travel, obviously.
So, a little update. We had to close our Hyderabad center. It just
Okay.
wasn't doing what we expected it to. We have four centers still. We have three in Bangalore and one in
Mm,
Chennai. We do intend to
right.
re-expand and re-explore Hyderabad once we have a little bit
Mm,
more market research done, a little bit more of a template. But yeah, for
mm,
me, it's always going to oscillate back and forth between personal endeavor and the greater good, right?
mm,
So expansion on a horizontal scale for me will always be about the greater good because the number one thing that people express frustration with me clinically is that I'm so hard to get to,
mm,
Mm,
you know? And it's one of those things where if I was a little bit more available or we had more centers, horizontally more available locations,
mm,
then more people would be able to access chiropractic. So
right.
the other roadblock to this is just it's a very what do you call it? Personal healthcare type of situation where people are very
Mm,
interested in you.
mm,
mm,
So the people who I've experienced healthcare changes with, and the clients who trust me with their health and their family's health, uh, those people will swear by me and maybe not so
mm,
much my colleague or my associate, or even somebody who I recommend they see.
yeah.
mm,
You know? So for me, these were some roadblocks that I experienced along the way, but it is still very important for me and part of my mission
mm,
to have chiropractic accessible to communities of all shapes and
great.
sizes within India.
Nice.
So
Right.
I will continue to fight the good fight, and I
Yes.
will continue to try and expand these ideas as much as we can.
Super.
Fantastic. Amazing. Yeah, I'm sure. I think more, yeah, more and more people in India, the way the pace at which India is moving, right? It will need healing hands. It will need, people who can get them back
For
on the
sure.
road, right?
Well, when I first started, people couldn't even pronounce the word chiropractic. Now it's
Mhm.
like it rolls off the tongue. It's
Yeah.
like I like from like a really, really, really
Really.
basic observation of like how chiropractic has grown. That would be my best insight.
Yeah,
True.
amazing.
Yeah. So what kept you
Fantastic.
going during these tough phases, Pratap?
Family, that's an easy one, slam dunk. And then just like vicinity to travel. Like I was able to explore a lot of these Asian countries. I still haven't. Uh, it's not been extensive. I haven't been able to take a month off anywhere to kind of really backpack across Laos or something like that. It was never that deep, but I've gotten to see a
Mm,
lot of countries, a lot of different uh, stamps in my passport. That's been fun. And also is originally from Bangalore. Like I mentioned, her ancestral home, central Bangalore. So family members uh, within Bangalore, Chennai. Like it's been a really easy network to kind of integrate into. Everybody's super happy
right.
to have me, support me. The first year, I lived
Mm.
in Bangalore. I lived rent free because I lived with my oldest cousin. So
Right.
it
Yes.
was one of those like super easy landing
Mm.
spots. It made a lot of sense. This is one of those things that yeah, I that was a big support network for me. I couldn't have done without it.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Yeah. I mean, when you move countries, right, and when you have not been there enough, then a network or known family members or friends certainly make it a lot more easier. I found that when I came to UK, my sister was here, right?
Mm.
And though I didn't live with them, the when I landed here just for 10 days, I was there with them, but then I came for my studies. But just them teaching me things about where to go, how to shop, what to look out for, right? All that. It just makes life, that much more, the transition that much more easier.
A home smell, you know?
Yes.
You come to a family member's home and it smells like home, like it smells familiar, like you see smiles that you recognize. It
Yeah.
makes such a big difference. Now I grew up without most of my cousins. Like I grew up
Mm,
without like integrating into that family life because we were the only family in Canada from our family
mm,
network. Later
right.
more of them joined later, like from my dad's side, but from
Mm,
the majority of our cousins, we were estranged for the largest part of our lives. So the fact that I was able to integrate. So another thing
mm,
that happened when I was over here is that I got to, I was here for I mean, it's a sad thing, but it was also a very important thing for us. But like, I was able to be here for the demise of both of my grandmothers. So those are the last two
mm,
surviving grandparents that we had, and like I really felt like I was
right.
meant to be there for that because it just
Mm,
very shortly after I got here, both of them expired within a very short amount of time.
right. Gosh.
So again,
Yeah, that
from a
is.
family perspective, it was
Mm,
it was really it was needed.
yeah,
I felt very
yeah.
much connected to the part that
Mm,
I should have been here at that time.
nice. Amazing.
So
Yeah.
on that topic of the
Yeah.
family part, so just wanted to ask you this. So what's something that your kids have taught you that no business book has ever could?
Um, oh my Lord. uh, I think I think every parent can attest to this. Every single parent can attest to this, and that is being calm at at the eye of the storm.
Nice.
You
Yes.
know,
Yeah.
and not trying to fight fire with
Yeah.
fire, and like just trying to rationalize the situation. And I'm a very like logic first person. Like I always like to approach every problem with like logic first, and it doesn't work with
You know.
kids. So when your framework, when you've decided that that's how you're going to problem solve, and that's the best way to problem solve, and that is not in play, you are forced to be extremely creative with your problem solving measures. So I think that
Yeah.
not blowing off the handle and trying to remain
Mm,
calm in most situations, that was a big one. So I think it's a really important
yeah.
thing to translate to the rest of your life.
Yes.
Nice to know that.
The reserves of patience that you build.
It's
Whew,
continuous practice.
whew. I'll tell you something,
Yeah.
man. That ain't easy.
Yes, yeah. There are
Nice.
times it's like a pressure cooker, right? The whistle does blow off sometimes, but then you gotta keep it in.
Yeah. And like we didn't really get too much of a break because they were like right back to back. So
Mm,
a lot of people think that they're twins. Like they
uh,
look alike, they're similar heights and sizes. So like
right.
we
So,
we
right.
I can understand what every person who has twins have gone through, maybe not in as much detail, but very close.
Mm,
So this was one of those things. Not to
So,
mention double the costs for
No.
everything.
Yes, that is
um,
cool. That is cool. I think
we
on
take a
on
break.
on that, I
Go
think we we should, yeah, transition. Go on, Dhaval.
Yeah, so we'll just jump into the icebreaker rapid fire segment. Just to loosen up a bit. Pratap, are you fine? Are you ready to go?
Born ready. Let's go.
Okay. Coffee or chai?
Coffee all day.
Okay.
That was an easy
Early
to
morning
start with.
workout or late night productivity burst?
One more time.
Early morning workout or late night productivity burst?
Early morning workout.
Netflix Bing or reading a great book?
Netflix. Sorry, guys.
That took time. That took
That's
time.
that's the age talking there.
Okay. Board
That
games with
that
kids
I was just saying
or
the 10 pages a day thing. It ain't happening.
No, with two around. Yes.
okay. Board games with kids or a solo golf date?
I haven't progressed to the latter, so I'll go the former.
Oh.
Board games with kids.
Good.
Would you
Nice.
rather be
But my golf era is coming.
all right.
I'm sure.
Waiting squeeze on that. Okay. Would you rather be known as a great entrepreneur or a great dad?
Great dad all day long.
Okay.
Sure.
Canada weather or Indian summers?
Canada winter or India summer?
You don't get a salad
Oh,
for that.
up in India summer. Forget it.
And
I've had enough with the cold. I'm good.
the 6 feet of snow.
It's fine.
Complete
No,
personal.
you know what it is worse in Toronto? It's worse because we have lake effect. So Toronto can get to plus 40 degrees Celsius with whatever humidity, humidex, and it can get to
Mm,
minus 40 with the wind chill. So it's like,
yeah.
yeah, it sucks. Forget it.
All right. Complete personal freedom or traditional family values?
We say traditional family values. You're gonna have to be a little more specific.
Um, like the conservative, as you spoke about your parents, the values that they try to imbibe.
He's a
Personal,
complete personal freedom. Yeah, it's understood.
Personal.
personal freedom.
All right. Being the new guy
Right.
in the room or being the guy who knows everyone?
Mm,
Being the guy who knows everyone has its merits, but there's nothing like not knowing anybody and just being yourself. So I'll go with that one.
okay.
Hmm. Having a detailed plan or figuring it
Right.
out as you.
Crap. So this is my yin and yang personality exactly exposed in one question. I hate you for this. Um, No, because I'm always caught in between these two things. I would say up until this point, my entire business, everything that I've done for the business has been scattershot. It's not been planned. It's been very gut oriented. What do I feel instinctual? And then I
Mm,
always want a plan
mm,
to to go off of. I always want to be that guided soul where I'm like, okay, this is all with that, so I'm gonna go with the opposite. But I always want to be more organized.
We
right.
all want to be organized.
It's a dream.
4 hour
Okay.
work week. Tim Ferriss, screw you, Tim Ferriss.
Come on. All right. Closing a business deal or helping a patient walk out pain free?
At the core, It's the latter because that's what I signed up for a long time ago. I have an oath that I recited at my graduation. I won awards for
Mm,
doing exactly this. But
mm,
if I close a business deal, could I help more people?
mm. Yes.
So I don't
Uh,
really know because I always look at the greater good side of it. So if it's just one person that I can help and I know that I've made a difference, then I'll go with that every day.
So,
nice.
creating new ideas or executing existing ones? I know that you love to,
Create,
yeah,
create,
right? You
create.
always do that, right? All right. More time or more money?
More time, more time, more time, because more time will grow more money, man.
Yeah. So
More time,
tell me.
more enjoyment, more places to spend
Uh,
said money.
so- Yes.
Yeah,
Cool.
there's one thing which comes up last, with leading a team or working solo on a big problem. So the kind of guy you are, whether you
Leading
like
a
to work,
team, leading a team.
yeah. So
I've always been a team player.
all right. So that ends up the rapid fire section. Thank you very much. But on that same note, you know,
Mm,
between working in Bangalore and between working in Chennai or Hyderabad as well. Uh, Obviously, your comfort zone is Bangalore per se because that's where you started things out. And in Chennai, what was the, uh, did you see any perspective shift or did you have challenges with people, with the setup, infra, everything around that? Or was it similar stands as Bangalore?
Um, Chennai has a different set of rules that apply. Like when you're thinking about even simple things like the electricity bill, you know? So
mm,
they do things slightly differently, and that's completely okay. Um, I have actually had a really positive experience with my Chennai practice. Um, I
mm.
even though it's a lot of work, it's very hectic for me because I wake up at the crack of dawn, board a flight, come to Chennai, see my patients, get back on a flight, come back to Bangalore. Bangalore, the
Gosh.
the 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 trip to the airport is longer than the trip to Chennai.
Yes.
So this, despite all this, it's still for me a very satisfying trip because my Chennai clientele is so
Mm,
rewarding.
mm.
They there's a thing about doctors in Chennai that you don't quite. Okay, not to. I'm probably going to get yelled at in the comments about this, but I, I'm allowed to have my own insights. I'm allowed to have my own experiences. So just
Absolutely.
based on
This
that,
is.
I just feel like people in Chennai want to listen to their doctor more, right?
Mm,
Whether they do or they don't.
mm,
Whether I say, hey, do this exercise 3 times a day, and they do or they don't, at least they'll own it.
mm.
They'll say, hey, I didn't do it. Didn't happen
Right.
for me. Whatever. But they want it to work. They want to listen to what you're saying.
Mm,
They want to inculcate the things that you're asking them to do.
right.
Bangalore, I think it's because it's a lot more of a melt. Like there's a lot more a variety of people in Bangalore.
Yeah.
And
Mm,
not to say that Chennai doesn't have its own unique identity with multiple cultures, but I'd say more so in Bangalore, and I think we get a
mm.
broader spread of that. So a lot more people here are like, yeah, 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 whatever.
Right.
I think that just that respect for doctors is a little bit more in China, and I absolutely eat that stuff up. Um, and I, I get much more. I get many more smiles in Chennai. It's just like a warmer population.
Uh,
It's just like yeah,
right.
I love that about it.
Interesting. Yes.
You know
Yeah.
what? You can
You
go with a
you
few
you you
words
you
of
better watch out when you walk out today in Bangalore.
Yeah, but it's still RCB over CSK any day long.
No,
Save the
you
day.
can say
Save
a
the
few
day there.
words. Would you like to go with a few words in Tamil or a few words in Kannada right now?
Uh, Gottilari, that, uh, uh, and my Tamil is terrible. Like I speak better Tamil than I speak Kannada, and that's not saying that much. Um, So actually, I'll give you one other really interesting insight, and that is in Bangalore, if you
Sure.
try to attempt Canada, like you at least try your best to say in Canada or whatever. I remember in an auto ride, I just said the auto driver was asking me a bunch of questions, and like, he was saying something, and he was so excited about the fact that I tried to speak Kannada with him. And he's like going off and on. He's telling me this long story. In Chennai, I'll try to explain something in Tamil, which I'm a little bit more comfortable with. I have a better vocabulary for it, and people will be like, yeah, just tell me in English, okay? Like you're butchering it, man. Don't try." So major difference there.
Right.
Oh,
Good
cool.
Lord.
All right. So, just jumping back again on a few things with what you, covered in a span of these many years in India. Uh, what is that Atlas, if Atlas did not have to be existing today, uh, what parts of your identity would still be remaining with you as Pratap?
Oh, I'd still definitely be in business somewhere. I'd still definitely be an entrepreneur. Um, whether it was in India or elsewhere, there would be that functioning of my dream, basically, to be my own boss, helping people with my hands, and uh, leading a healthcare charge that did not involve medicine.
Okay,
Mm,
cool. Nice. And outside of your work, right? Outside of being a chiropractor, a doctor who has healing hands, uh, what is it that you also discovered about yourself?
Is it specifically after 40?
You want to answer it after 40, it's okay.
No, I mean,
You might find something discoverable after 50 as well. We'll come back to that
yeah, you
later.
might. New podcast. There you go. You have three new podcasts coming out of the next 30 years. No, no, I think I think something that I've learned along the way is that busy doesn't equal better. And
mhm,
constantly being after something doesn't necessarily uh, benefit anybody.
Interesting.
So taking that moment to slow down, taking that time to just be like, it's okay to not rush through this. It's okay to take a moment here to adapt, whether it's mentally, physically, emotionally, whatever it is. It's okay to take some extra time to figure it out. And if maybe the idea of figuring it out is just to not think about it, it's also okay,
mm,
you know? Because I think work and busyness, that the idea of being always busy has become like this emblem. It's become this notch
mm,
that says, well, I'm always busy and that's the way it is. And that's something to be proud of. And for some people, okay, sure, fine. I agree with you. But that ain't me. That's
mm,
not something that I want to carry forward. Do really,
mm,
really, really, really enjoy my downtime now.
Okay.
mm,
And it is something that I won't trade for
mm,
just just to be busy.
mm,
So that's something that I would definitely take home to the bank every single day because w in my younger days, I would be on the go all the time. I mean, some people still say you need to slow down today.
mm.
Even
Right.
even though I feel like I've slowed down quite a lot, like
That's
people
the
like
whole thing. It was like, it's at this phase in time, you probably would want to say, I like to keep myself slow rather than on the go.
but different speeds, different folks, different strokes, right? Like it's not everything's the same for
Yeah.
everybody. But for me right now, from where I could have been maybe 10 years ago in my 30s. I might have been a lot more, yo, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Lots of late nights, lots of early mornings, lots of like hustling around the clock. I don't do that anymore. I'm sorry.
Cool. Nice to know that. That's an interesting perspective
Got it.
because normally people would just say, "What are you doing?" and I'm busy. But the definition of busy, it's a little bit, if you keep it very clean and precise, it helps everyone across, in your own life as well,
Yeah,
rather.
For sure.
So,
absolutely.
so what are you building now that has nothing to do with what work you are in?
Well, I wrote a script for a video game.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yes. So like I said before, I love video games. It's been a part of me since I was very small. My dad walked in with a
Mm,
Nintendo, and I mean, I got this
right.
tattoo on my arm, like you know what I mean.
Nice.
So I just so I wrote a video game script,
Right.
and I don't know what to do with it yet. So I'll figure it out. I've always considered myself a
Nice.
bit of a writer.
Right.
I had a blog, and like I said, I wrote some episodes for my podcast, and
Mm,
I do like to engage in media as much as I could. I definitely have more to say. So I've written a book. Um, but it hasn't taken the edge off. So I have to keep exploring what else I can do creatively.
right.
right.
Nice. Yeah.
Right. Nice to know that it's a completely different dimension of thinking as
It
well,
is.
I also have a growing collection of cologne. So
Oh,
I'm a bit of a I've been I've been sucked into uh this world of scent.
So,
So there's that.
right.
so what's
And
your sense?
if I Oh, I don't have a signature scent, as it turns out. I like a bunch of different ones. Right now, my
Mm,
one of my favorite notes is ginger, as it turns out.
Ah,
So
mm,
there's a cologne by Goldfield and Banks called Ingenious Ginger that like it's
mm,
supposed to be a very unique scent, but I've been liking it a lot. And in fact, it
right.
is my most complimented fragrance.
oh,
Amazing.
stamped and sealed.
So now I've not gate kept this particular one. So if you guys are looking for a new scent, go check that one out.
Super. We'll do that. So,
Absolutely.
closing notes, I think, since we
The,
are short in time as well, uh, just the last closing question for me, and then probably Sujay can just get
yeah.
the curtains down. Uh,
Hmm
so for me, what's that one thing that shocked yourself from the current you as against the younger Pratap? Uh, what is that one thing that you are shocked about to learn?
I think the one thing that shocks me the most about myself is my resolve. I was a pretty impatient kid. I was even in my younger adulthood, I was pretty impulsive, distracted, and the very fact that I've stuck with the vision and I've kind of fought through a number of different adversities and hurdles, I think that would be the number one shocking most thing that has occurred to my younger self.
Nice.
Amazing.
Super.
Amazing.
Interesting, actually.
Yeah,
And
I
So,
jumped around quite a bit as a younger
yeah.
adult.
this is an interesting question that I actually framed, from a perspective from your wife as well. Uh, what would your wife say if you had improved at the most over the years?
Oh Lord. Um, um, I think she would also say that I've worked a lot on my communication. I used to not be able to be
Mm,
understood because I'd rush through my conversations. I even the way I spoke, my um, the entire the speed at which I spoke at, the
Mm,
my inflections, the very fact that I would try to avoid, um, you know, I don't think I've kind of suppressed my accent at all, but like it's evolved to a point where now it's a lot more understandable for a lot of
Mhm.
people,
mm,
and I think
nice.
I think she could just say that like I've basically become more I've adapted the way I've communicated quite a bit, so now I'm a lot more understandable, more relatable,
I have a
and
point on that, so
ah
when I came first to meet Dr. Prathap, and this was like probably what post-COVID,
yeah
23, 23, 24 at the Chennai clinic. I was cool with understanding what he had to say, and then I brought in
Mm,
my sister, elder sister Rita.
right.
So when when he spoke, the funny thing, okay, it's not so good, but she came back and asked me, what did he say actually?
that happens a lot. I mean, now my aunt can understand me, but before she'd be like, I tell her this
Yes.
long story, then she'd be like looking around, be like, "What's the look?" Yeah, so
So
I
yeah,
know,
you
I know.
you you've done
Yeah,
a lot of improvement there, that means.
gotta
Nice.
try.
nice.
That
That.
it's like one of those things, like it's it's a lot of some people think that it's not my responsibility for what
Mm,
you understand if I've told you what I needed to tell you,
Mhm.
which I think is really wrong.
Mhm.
mm,
It is your responsibility to communicate your message so that it reaches its audience in a understandable way, you know?
Completely, completely true.
And so the very fact that some people can believe that no, I've passed my message along, how you understand it is up to you. That's not me.
It goes back to the same time when I first uh, came out of college fresh and I joined the business with dad. I remember it very, very clearly that, he came up to me and said, okay, I want you to draft an email that'll be going to a few customers. You got to explain X, Y, Z, and you got to put your point across. He said, all right. And I just said, okay. I started, letters done. He took the first draft. He said, redo it again. And I think I did like five iterations to that to literally understand what he actually wanted me to do. And I did that. And he's like, now read that from a customer's perspective. Did it make sense?
Right,
Did,
right,
yeah.
did that did that message get conveyed in the way that you wanted it to get conveyed?
right,
Mm,
If that's done and you as a customer has understood, that's half job done.
right.
So that's an important
absolutely.
thing there, communicating in the right way is one thing, but communicating effectively to make the other person understand it, it's even more
Yeah,
better.
Hmm.
So super. Thank
absolutely.
you very much.
Yeah. Cool.
All right, Sujay, your
Yeah.
turn.
So, to close out on, so you've had great success, traveled a lot of places, been in, a melting point of things, seen all the ups and downs, been busy,
One
trying
more thing.
to.
Cracked a lot of boards as well.
Yes. Um, is there anything that you think you missed out on? Not regrets or anything like that, but is there anything that you think you missed out on that,
Or anything that you
you
longed
wanted to
for.
do? Yeah.
Well, like, I mean, this is a full circle moment, right? Like we started talking about my buddies back home, and I kind of finished with this because again, for some reason, like I missed out on being a best man. It's something that I always wanted to be, and like I wasn't
Mm,
able to be there for that. The birth of children. My brother moved into his first home. Like
mm,
he's also a writer, and he had a screening for one of his projects, and I wasn't able to see that. So the like other people's milestones,
mm,
that are people who are important to me, who I just was not able to be there for. And definitely not a regret, but as you mentioned, just something that you missed out on. And
So,
uh,
yeah.
like it's always what do you call it? It's always a cost,
Mm.
opportunity cost,
Super.
you know?
Yes. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
choose to do
Success
one
has a
thing,
price to pay, right?
it
Yeah.
You do
does.
say.
And associated with that is also the guilt of being a working parent.
Mm.
Right. So I know that I try to spend as much time with these guys as I can. A lot of my off days are just be like, okay, picking them up and dropping them off and getting them ready and just hanging out with them whenever I can. But it's just there are days where I have to be away all day. And I won't see them when they wake up. They'll be asleep by the time I get back. And it's like those are days that like childhood is so fleeting and
Yeah.
you never want to look back and be like, I missed my kids growing up. So there's those things,
Yeah.
but also there's you take the good with the bad, where now because of all of my hustling and all of my family forward thinking, we're able to do different things together and we have great
Mm.
plans to move forward with and lots of ambitions, lots of aspirations, and there's a format where those things can happen. So it's
Yeah.
it's certainly worth the effort,
Yeah.
but you do think back sometimes, you're like, did I miss out on something? So
Yeah.
there's
Certainly.
that.
No,
Nice.
no, that's great. You said you're still figuring out certain things before you get too old and too grumpy, right? So so hope you figure those things out, and that you get more time to to miss out on less things, right? That you're now there where you want to be in this phase of your life, and thank you for taking your time. Thank you for giving us the 2 hours that you we took you away from your family and kids.
No, I mean, like I said, it's my pleasure to share my journey. It's give me an opportunity to talk anywhere, and I'll talk your ear off. But
Yeah.
most importantly, like it's very flattering as an honor to be a part of a podcast where if I was the inspiration for, I gotta say my piece.
Yes, absolutely.
So, but it's like I said,
No,
it's I probably didn't answer all of your questions in as succinct a way as you'd hoped, but hey,
no,
look,
it
got
was.
a
We
lot
didn't
to
have
say, and
hope. We did not have hope.
for the record,
It was.
for the listeners on Spotify, like I did tell these guys that they should probably have a mute button for me so I can, cut my stories a little shorter. But that being said, it's been an
No,
absolute pleasure, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I hope your listeners get a lot out of the episode. And I am happy if anybody wants to drop comments about anything that I've said, any questions they have for me, my experiences, I'd be happy to share for follow-ups.
Thank you very much,
thank you
Doctor,
so
for
much.
your time.
This.
And we've invaded your personal space, but thank you very much.
Thank you.
No, no, no. All my pleasure. Thank you guys very much. And it's been difficult getting us all in the same room, but we made it happen, guys.
No,
So
yes,
well done.
Thank you very
yes.
much.
That